Right, Ben. Up next, our last Kickstarter this week is...
Yeah, so the last one is called Critical Core,
Yeah.
and this is a new sort of role-playing module system, a sort of newly designed thing by Game to Grow. Now, Cass and Ryan have talked about this a little bit more on Indie Thursday this week, so if you haven't watched that show, it's very, very cool to go and check out. So go and just find that on the channel. We'll have some links below and stuff as well. But Sam's also talked about this as part of his D&D in Therapy article as well. And this is a tabletop RPG that has been designed to help people who are on the autism spectrum, specifically children and younger gamers and stuff as well. And it's all sort of designed to help them build their confidence and their social skills. So the game plays a little bit like a role-playing game. It's based on the Dungeons and Dragons system for 5th edition, but with a lot of the sort of tougher mechanics ripped out of there to try and make it a little easier to learn. And it comes with all the things you would expect. So it comes with character sheets and module adventures and that kind of thing. You've got dice and all the character sheets, blah, blah, blah. But the really cool thing they've added into the mix as well for this is this thing called the Facilitator's Guide. And this is effectively that therapeutic element of it. And it helps you as the storyteller or the narrator sit down at the table with younger gamers and younger role players and sort of work through some of those things that will help those that are on that spectrum. So I think it deals with things like problem solving, sort of the changing of plans and having to dynamically think about what you want to do next, working together in cooperation, also things like confidence building and communication as well. So they've really sort of delved into this and done a lot of testing and studying with a lot of other groups and kids and that kind of thing, just to see how it all works. And the other sort of big plus to this as well is that it looks really cool. The artwork looks amazing. The finish on a lot of stuff they've done for it looks really good as well. I'm really digging the monster cards and a lot of stuff they've done for the character art and that kind of thing as well. So yeah, really nice looking Kickstarter. And as I say, Cass and Ryan have talked about it in a little bit more detail on Indie Thursday. So if you want to learn a bit more, you can go and talk to them about it and in the comments and see what they think as well. So yeah.
It's cool. It is cool. I remember when I was a kid, I was quite shy. But there was a guy came over from England. I'd never really done role playing before, but he sat us all down. He got us all role playing, and suddenly you've got 4 or 5 kids. You don't normally talk to each other that much. Yeah. Maybe it's your neighbors, like they live close to you or stuff, but you don't really engage with them. And then all of a sudden you're together and you're communicating. You're having your adventure. You're having your head or your sprite unfortunately cut off when your brother decides to be the DM and tries to just ruin everything you want to do. Isn't that right, Warren?
Yeah.
That's when
It's all about ruining hobby.
I was just going to add one more extra thing in there. A lot of people have talked about this with Sam's article they did last week about sort of D&D and therapy, and a lot of people just assume that with thinking that role-playing is the only way to try and achieve that kind of thing. But the same goes for tabletop games of any type, be they card games, board games, role-play games, or war games themselves, like Saga and all those kind of things.
Yes.
It's that ability to sit around a table or stand around a table with other people and sort of generate these interesting stories around other people and just get used to it on a confidence level as well. So,
but it's about the interaction in the real world.
Yes,
you're not carved off and looking at a screen in a room on your own. When you're doing tabletop gaming, you're literally like this, face to face, talking to each other.
The way to describe this is it actually sets a social framework which has some very clearly defined boundaries, which makes someone who's perhaps a little socially awkward feel quite safe. And it actually helps them because it gives them, now this is something very silly, it gives them permission to be social. Because a lot of time you can be so scared to be social with people if you are a little socially awkward, it just terrifies you. But being in games and playing games of any sort, it puts you in a mind frame and in a situation where it's okay. And you're actually feeling okay because you're all under the same sort of onus.
Yeah,
exactly,
I like that, the way of describing it. It's a framework of here's how you interact with each other based on this framework. You're not sitting there trying to think, what do I do now to interact with you? Yeah. Because I'm playing the game and the game is saying this is how you interact with each other. Because like a lot of the time you can turn around and go, I don't know this person, I don't know how to interact with this person. And it becomes a stressful point because you're spending a lot of time looking at that person trying to think.
It gives you that
gets
common
more and more
ground.
awkward as you do it.
But it gives you that continuous common ground when you're playing a game together. So I think this is really great.
5 years later, you realise you still don't know that person's name. You see them every day in work.
Yeah.
And you just go, how you going, mate?
How's it, Bob?
I'm terrible with names. See, when I was in high school, I got
The number of times you and Warren mixed me and John up.
I got to the end of high school and there were still people in my class that say, I don't know what your name is.
Don't know who you are. Don't care who you are.
I was one of those kids, everybody knew me, but I knew nobody. It was just really weird.
But everybody knows you, Justin.
I don't know why. It was weird.
Because, well, I don't know.
Maybe I just have one of those faces.
Well, if you were talking about walking on your balls.
Oh, stop it. And on that note, everybody, we hope you've had a fantastic Saturday morning with us.
That might have been a wee indicator.
Yeah.
He wasn't talking about it, he was just doing it.
Ben, you were saying the artwork is amazing. It was one of the things that jumped out at me first. I was looking at it. Can you find there is a monster somewhere on the Kickstarter? The artwork's
yes,
just immense. It's really, really good.
So it's the orc you're after.
Yes. What do you see this?
This
Look,
thing.
check out the artwork on this. Now, as a kid, artwork on D&D type stuff and trading cards and all that
Yeah.
sort of stuff was one of those things that would like really draw me in.
Yeah.
So I mean, just look at it, and the art in the books and stuff as well. Man, I can't wait to see some more of that. That's just awesome. Right, gents, what do you think, Jer?
I'm loving it, but
Jelly.
certainly haven't skimped on the artwork. Let's put it like that. It'll be interesting to see what they actually do to change the mechanics, though, because listening to the video just sounds like they're describing every role-playing game that exists.
That's true.
And I don't know how that makes it any different.
Because when they did sit down to describe it, I said to you, they're just describing how a role-playing game works.
Yeah.
But I guess maybe they're aiming at this as an audience
An
who
audience
doesn't
who
know
don't
how a
know how
role-playing
role-play-
game
yeah.
works. So therefore, maybe they don't need to make it different.
That's
See,
true.
I have to wonder if they've perhaps dropped out the combat side of things and made it more about the social interaction. So your GM
Well,
is
no,
actually
not if,
giving your
you've got,
player...
not if you've got an insurmountable foe there. What are you going to do when he comes at you with the
hang on.
axe?
Yeah, there's still going to be some combat.
But hang
Yeah.
on. Read this. At
Yeah.
first, players may think they can overcome this obstacle through combat, but on closer inspection reveals there may be another solution.
Yeah, well, it means there's
So it
combat in
means-
the game.
Okay, fine. There's combat in the game,
Yeah,
but
go
maybe
there.
it's pushing them towards more of a social resolution to things.
Well, it's giving them an option, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't take that option
As
with
long
an
as
orc.
I'm given the option,
Never take the option with an orc.
I can whack him with my club,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or I can tickle him and
Yeah.
laugh. I don't know what the other option is, but who knows?
You tickle him, and while he's laughing, I'll beat him over the head with my club. And that's how you deal with orcs.
Well, you see, it's that when you get the critical fail on your roll, you try to push the orc off the ledge, you get a 1, and you gently caress his back. The orc is now uncomfortable.
Nah, that's all right. We know how to deal with orcs from now on.
Boom.
That's it. You heard it here. Tickle them,
I actually
Bingo
want to
bongo.
see you two role playing as a duo.
tickle them, and smash their head in.
Smash
That's
their
it.
head in.
Job done. Benno, do you want some last words on that, mate?
I was just going to say, I think, as you were saying, this is sort of aimed towards people that maybe haven't potentially looked at role-playing games before as a way of sort of bringing a group of kids together or a group of teenagers together to try and learn, sort of how to develop and stuff communicatively and that kind of thing. So that's not a word, but it is now. But yeah, I think it's aimed at them, especially through the use of that facilitators book. So yeah.